Hello all, welcome back. Pleasure seeing you all here with me. Well, today I would like to share with you all a couple of do's and don'ts for the summer. I do understand we're almost halfway through the summer, but I was just delaying this video. I don't know, for some reason it was just not working out, and so I just thought that, okay, today I gotta sit down, jot down a few points, and I gotta put it across to all of y'all, so that whatever half of the summer that is left, we take these points into consideration and help us enjoy a better summer. And just one request I have to all of y'all, please pick up the points which are, and go ahead with things which are pertaining to your health, what suits you, what suits your skin type, and what is beneficial for you. I mean, the information that I am passing on to you, it is something which is relevant to me, or probably in general terms. But one request, please pick up and go ahead with things that is beneficial for you, and it does not work the other way around. So be careful and cautious. And yes, nothing too major that I'd like to talk, or nothing too heavy that I'd like to talk, but a few pointers that I'm sure is going to be helpful for each one of you all. And yes, in case you have any suggestions, any comments, please do mention down in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to revert and read them. And in case you have anything that is going to be beneficial for all the viewers here on the channel, mention down in the comment section below. Let's help this group of lovely people benefit from all the information. So yes, without any further ado, let's get started with today's video. Well, the first point that I'd like to make a mention about is that please make sure that try and wear as much as cotton clothing for the summer, because summers are the time when any which ways I feel it's like always hot and very taxing on yourselves when you are going out during the daytime, especially these few months of summer now. And I also believe sometime in October it really tends to get very hot just before the winters they begin, especially in Mumbai. And so yes, I'd like to make a note of this, that please try and wear cotton clothing as much as possible. And yes, but I do understand that people, those who are working professionals, working in organization where you need to have a proper dress code, or probably you're wearing a uniform, I do understand that is unavoidable. But in other ways, when you are going or probably reaching to your work, or in other times when you're home, it's always advisable to wear clothing which is of cotton, so your skin can breathe. And yeah, it's much more healthier wearing cotton clothing rather than wearing anything synthetic, because usually we tend to pick up synthetic clothing because it is a little less of maintenance. In cotton clothing, you got to make sure that your clothes are well kept and well ironed and things like that. But yes, summers is the time that you cannot discount it. As much as possible, try and wear cotton clothing, whether it is you wearing your outfit that needs to be cotton clothing, or even for that matter your inners. It is very important. Another thing that I'll also like to mention about clothing when we are here, that you must have a change of at least 2 clothings at least in a day. I mean, you have had a shower in the morning, you've changed your outfit, and once again in the evening you got to change it, so that in case if you have been out and if you've been sweating and things like that, you're changing your outfit, and you put that outfit for a wash, and you're wearing a fresh set of clothing. It definitely makes a lot of difference. So yes, this is the second thing that I'd like to mention. I've actually made a whole lot of lists out over here which I'm going to be reading out to you, so this video might get a little long. So in case if you want to, I would request you to please catch on, get along with some beverages. I wouldn't suggest tea or coffee, because the other pointer is that try avoid drinking tea and coffee. But you can definitely sip on some water. If nothing else, you can have some refreshing fruit juices, vegetable juices. So yeah, grab on to all of that, and you can continue the video from here on. So the third point that I'd like to mention is, as I said just now, that try avoid drinking tea and coffee. But yes, people, those who are habituated of having a cup of tea or coffee in the morning, fair enough, you can go ahead and have that, provided you make sure that for every cup of tea or coffee you're having at least 2 glasses of water. Because coffee and tea are such that they're definitely going to dehydrate your system, and you wouldn't want, you know, whatever water is there in your body to get, you know, washed out from your body. So if you're having a cup of tea, make sure that you're compensating that with 2 cups or 2 glasses of water. And yeah, another thing that I like to mention is that especially for women, you know, because I don't know how men would go about this, but definitely for women, you know, it is very, very important that we're taking care of our personal hygiene to the T for the summer, because we do not want to get into a situation in which, you know, we are having rashes and we're having some breakouts, and then we have to run to a, you know, skin expert and things like that. Whatever things that we can take charge of from our end, I think we should do that. So I definitely would recommend that, you know, regular with your, you know, visits to the salon or visits to the parlor. If you go to, you know, make sure that your hands, legs and underarms are waxed or shaved, whatever you all do, because even if you haven't, you know, taken care of your personal hygiene as far as waxing and things are concerned, especially your underarms, you know, when you perspire, when you sweat, there's a different kind of a body odor that, you know, there's a body odor that's been emitted, and it lingers more in case if these areas are not being cleaned. So yes, please make sure that we are taking care of your personal hygiene and not discounting that for anything else, because it is very, very important, so that, you know, these things do not grow up into something, you know, bigger and yeah, causes any sort of inconvenience to you. Another thing that I like to mention is that make sure that you're always carrying in your purse or handbag, you have to carry a body spray and small bottle of water, face mist, some wet wipes, and also few candies. Okay, now I'm sure you know about the body spray. Obviously you need to smell good, not only for yourself but also for people around you. If you would have seen my video that spoke about fragrances for summer, I did mention that you need to smell good not only for others but more importantly for yourself. You smell good, you feel good, and you feel good, you can perform well, you're happy. So yeah, it's all interrelated, small things, but they make a lot of difference. Face mist is important because not every time do you have the luxury of going and, you know, probably washing your face off, you know. If you have, well and good. Even if you have the time to do that, I would definitely recommend that after that using a face mist is very, very important, because it immediately refreshes you, it makes you feel good. So this is very important. A small bottle of water in your bag is very important, because you get dehydrated, you do not realize if you're out in the sun, if you're on a field job, or even otherwise, even if you're traveling, you do not realize when you're getting dehydrated, when you start feeling sick, or, you know, you start feeling nauseous. So it is very, very important that keep a small bottle of water in your handbag. This is still quite big. You get bottles which are like this size. So it is very important. Another thing you also could keep in your bag would be a sachet of electrolyte powder. I usually keep that during summers, because whether it's myself or in case if I come across someone else who needs, you know, some electrolyte solution, because summers are such, or, you know, the sun is such that, you know, it just drains the energy out of you. So I think these few things, they come in really very handy. As far as handy is concerned, I remember that I mentioned about candies. Candies also help in the same way, in case if you have, you know, you've got delayed with your meals, or in case you start feeling nauseous, you know, when you pop in a small candy, it definitely takes care of, it's like a sugar you know, dose that you're giving to your body that gives you instant energy. So that really helps. So yes, this is very, very important. Also, it is also advisable that you carry an umbrella if you can, whenever you go out. If there's a, you know, distance that you need to cover, you need to walk, it is also advisable that you wear your glares, you know, in case if you do not want, I mean, it's always advisable, because the sun is so bright and the light is so much that sometimes it just gets on to your head and you get a headache. So carrying glares and, you know, carrying an umbrella, important. If you can, please try and incorporate. Another thing that I'd like to mention is that try wearing light color clothing. Light colors would be whites, would be pastels, anything which is, in case, you know, anything which is very nude. Such sort of shades are always advisable. That not only makes you feel good, but also people, those who are looking at you, makes them feel good too. So yeah, in case if you have the liberty of wearing, you know, your choices of clothes and colors. Cotton is the thing that I would like to recommend, and light pastel shades or nude shades would definitely be the recommendation. Also try making sure that you have tied up your hair like the way I have. It's good because in case if you leave your hair, you also start feeling a little, you know, uneasy with all of that. At least I do. That's my personal take. But in case if you're okay with, you know, letting your hair loose and, you know, it's all your choice. But yeah, usually when you tie a nice top knot or probably a ponytail and, you know, or even a bun, I think these are the few things that I'd like to recommend, or for that matter even a French braid or any of the other braids that you would like to. Another thing that I'd like to also mention is that yeah, it's also a good idea always to, especially during the summers, to take a shower at least twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening once you're back home, or, you know, even if you're home the entire day. I think, you know, once you take a shower in the night just before going to bed, you feel also good and refreshed. So I think it's very, very important. Also, it is also advisable that you dust your body with a little bit of, you know, talcum powder. And talcum powders, in case if you enjoy you know, using fragrances for talcum powders, is okay. Otherwise there's also medicated powders like candid powder and absorb powder, which actually you know, not only they keep your skin dry, but they're also antifungal, you know, and antibacterial. So these are the medicinal properties in these two talcums. So in case if you wish to try them, they're really good. You can definitely check with your you know, your doormat, or, you know, whomever you refer to before using these powders. But yeah, they're pretty good. Another thing is that always wear a sunscreen. Now, whether you go outdoors or whether you're indoors, a sunscreen is a must for everyone. So summers is the time where, you know, I think the more you invest on your sunscreen, the good sunscreens, if you want, I will link you know, somewhere, you know, the link to my video that spoke about sunscreens, so you could refer to that. And in case if you have any that you have been using, please make sure that it's not lying in the drawer. Pick that up and use it. And yes, please make sure that you're washing your face at least twice a day. You need to get rid of all the, you know, the gunk and all the oil and all the sweat that, you know, gets onto your face. But at times, you know, when you have a lot of makeup and you cannot, you know, you don't have the luxury of washing your face, fair enough, you do have some oil absorbent you know, small sheets which you get, and, you know, you can just dab them all over on your face, and, you know, it removes away all the oil, all the greasiness instantly. And yeah, that means when you get back home, only that's the time when you can wash your face. So in case if you have the luxury, I would recommend washing your face at least thrice a day. Another thing that I'd also like to mention is that try eating food which is with less of spices and more fresher things, like you know, more fresher things, fruits. You know, lean more towards the fruits, towards the fresh juices, in case if you wish to have juices. And the reason I'm trying to say is that to avoid spicy food, because any which ways the heat gets onto you at times and you don't feel like eating, you might end up into having acidity and things like that. So just to keep that at bay, once in a while definitely you can enjoy and relish your meals. That's when your body lets you know that, you know, okay, it's fair enough, you know, I'm okay to have spicy meals. But in case if you just indulge yourself into some spicy food, especially during the daytime, it could tend to, you know, getting acidity and things like that. So I would rather suggest you avoid that, because as you know, it's very rightly been said by someone that what you eat shows on yourself, not only on yourself but even when you sweat, what you eat, definitely your sweat also smells of that. So the lesser amount of spices and, you know, like the spicy hot things that you eat, the better, at least for the summers. So yes, this is one thing that I like to mention. Also have cooler things, like, you know, probably you can have a bowl of yogurt if that suits you, salads with cucumber, and you can have a lot of watermelons or any sort of melons for that matter, that just keeps your stomach cool, that makes you feel nice from within. So yeah, these are the few things that I'd like to mention. Well, the list is not over, a little bit more. Another thing that I like to mention is that yeah, it's also if you're talking about food, I'd also like to mention that, you know, it's also good, or rather it's a good thing to avoid eating anything outside unless you are very certain or sure that, you know, the food that is being prepared over there is with utmost caution. Because sometimes in the preparation, you know, if the food is not being prepared well, and if the hygiene conditions are not good, you might end up into food poisoning, and that's the last thing, trust me, you want. Not only during the summers, but I think any time that you would not want to end up into any sort of food poisoning. So yes, it is very, very important that you be careful and try avoiding, you know, eating from outside. Another thing that I also like to mention is that avoid wearing excessive jewelry, you know, when you really don't realize many a times you always have a string around your neck, or probably a small chain or things like that. And I think, you know, wearing something around your neck is very irritating, especially for me, for the summers, because you perspire, and you know, it just, I don't know, it's a very uneasy feeling. So I just feel a little small studs are good, and probably a ring or two, like if you see what I'm wearing. So I think, you know, it's minimum is good for the summers, but you have all the other time during the winters and, you know, probably the monsoon, probably to wear your jewelry and things. But I think it's always advisable to keep your jewelry also minimum for the summers especially. And yes, most importantly, we usually forget, but I think it really does wonders if you do it at least even once a week. I would advise twice a week, but even if you cannot, once a week, you need to pamper yourself. You need to apply a face mask. That could be any mask, whatever suits according to your skin type. I usually love applying a fuller earth, that is Multani Mitti face pack. And yeah, with that I definitely like to put the rose water cotton eye pads on my eyelids and just relax for about 10 to 15 minutes. This is something that I've been following, or rather seeing at home. And you know, as a child I used to be very you know, very excited doing all of this, you know, when I would see you know, everyone at home doing it. And yeah, so it really feels very good. It feels very pampered, you know, when you apply pack, you relax yourself, you put the, you know, cotton eye pads on your eyes. You can use some rose water for that, and you know, put that rose water in water inside the fridge, just refrigerate it for about 5 to 10 minutes, and thereafter just remove the eye pads, squeeze the excess water, and just put it on your eyelids after you've applied the pack on your face, and just relax for 10 to 15 minutes. Trust me, it is so rejuvenating. All I would request you is, during that time, do not get distracted by anything. You can put on some light music in case if you wish to hear, and definitely keep your mobile phones away, because that 10 to 15 minutes is your time. And yeah, so this is another thing that I like to mention. Also, yeah, very, very important for you know, people, those who are working professionals, those who go to offices, and in case if you have a uniform, you're wearing a particular kind of shoes, or even otherwise, you know, if you're wearing the kind of footwear, it is, and if that footwear says that, you know, you need to be wearing socks along with that for the men, or you know, you need to be wearing stockings, you know, with the footwear that you're wearing, it is very, very important that every day you're wearing a fresh, as in a clean pair of socks or stockings. Because as you know, you would not want, you know, first and foremost, any infection, fungal infection or bacterial infection that would happen to you know, you while you're wearing something. And you need to feel good, and you need to feel clean. And yeah, in case if you wear something which is soiled even the following day, I mean, firstly, it doesn't make you feel okay, and it definitely has a foul smell to it. So for yourself and for people around you, it's very, very important that please make sure that you're wearing a fresh pair of socks or stockings every single day. Very, very important. It's also important that, you know, you air your shoes that you're wearing on daily basis. If it's that one particular kind of shoe, please make sure that you're airing them, and not only airing them, but at least once a week or twice a week. You know, it's always advisable that you keep them in the sun. Please dust some talcum powder in it. I do that, you know, I used to do that. So dust some talcum powder. In case you have any spray, just spray it, but make sure that you've kept it in the sun for at least about half an hour, and then when you're getting it inside, you dust with some talcum or some spray, because you need to feel good, and if you feel good, everyone else around you will also feel good. So yeah, these have been a couple of my do's and don'ts that I wanted to share with you all. And yes, in case if you have found this video informative, please do give it a thumbs up. In case you haven't subscribed to my channel, request you to please subscribe now. Hit the subscribe button. There is a little bell icon just next to the subscribe button. If you can hit that as well, that is an indication, or it gives you a notification no sooner my video is uploaded on the channel. And should you have any questions, please do mention down in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to revert. And yeah, until my next video, take very good care of yourself. Happy summers to you. Bye bye.